Hey guys, this is Onisha Biggs of PharmacyTechLessons.com. I'm one of the instructors there, and this is another episode of not the SPTL show, but it's just an episode that kind of shocked you, didn't it? But it's just an episode of I really wanted to talk with you all about what it really takes to pass the PTCB exam. I get a lot of people asking me questions like, how can I pass the PTCB exam? What does it take? What are the steps? What do I need to study? What do I need to do? How can I get good at math? I get a lot of people asking these questions to us constantly. And so I wanted to ask you a question. Have you ever just known a person that it just seemed like they had a goal, but for whatever reason, they were just always full of excuses? And it's not that the excuses that they gave weren't somewhat good, but the excuses were hindering them from reaching their goal. So, case in point, for me, when I was studying for the PTCB exam, I had a lot of excuses. One of my main excuses was, this is new to me. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't even know how a pharmacist or a pharmacy technician can understand all of those drug names. It's just impossible. It's not something that I feel like I'm able to do. It's not familiar territory for me. And so what I had to do was really, I had to come out of that. Literally, it took me 1 to 2 years to study for the PTCB exam. I failed the first time, and after that, I had to go back and study again, which I took it a lot more serious that time. Even though I was discouraged, I was nervous, I was down. I didn't know if I actually wanted to go back at it again because I had failed, and failing, I don't know about you, but it's embarrassing. So I went at it again and I took the exam and I actually passed it. But what did it take for me to get to that point? First of all, I had to stop making excuses. I had to stop thinking with a mindset of, pharmacy is new to me. I've never been in healthcare. I never went to a college for pharmacy. So therefore, I can't take the exam and I can't pass the exam. I can't go through this material because it's so hard. It's not about that. It's not about that. If you feel like you're feeling like that, I want you to get out of your own head and get to the work. Okay. So that's what I want to share with you all. Let me see. We have some comments here. Stacy. Okay. So I tell you what, I'm going to get to the comments in a minute. If you have any comments or any questions, just place it over there in the chat and we will talk more about that. But I wanted to share with you all, just do the work. It's just as simple as that. Just do the work. Do what it takes. You have study materials. If you have study materials, if you have someone in your environment that can teach you, if you're already in a class, if you're already going to a school for pharmacy technician, just do the work. And if you aren't, I have 3 things that I want you to do that includes you just doing the work. So the first thing is just do the work. Okay. So I talked a lot about that. Stop procrastinating, stop hesitating, stop thinking so deeply and so much. It's really not that complicated. It's really actually pretty simple on how you can pass this exam, but it just takes for you to have the right mindset and for you to get in there and just do the work. The second thing is this. It's key for 2019 that you make sure you have the right information and up-to-date information. I cannot express that enough. The first time I told you about me taking the exam, the first time I took the exam, I was studying information all over the place. And some of you may find yourselves like that. You're all over the place with studying for the exam, and you're not actually on a set path to where you can study this one thing, study this one set of information, or 2 or 3 things, whatever you choose. And you can study that and successfully know that when you just do the work and put the work ethic in and study the material, that you're going to pass the exam. Okay, so first thing, just do the work. Second thing, make sure you have up-to-date and correct information. We're in a new year, and I have some updates coming for you guys as well about 2020 and the new things that are going to be coming with this exam. But I'm telling you, if you just follow these steps that I'm giving you, no matter what year it is that you take the exam, you're going to be able to pass it, okay? Because these are solid principles that are going to help you maintain, no matter what curriculums come out, no matter what new questions they start to throw at you on the exam, you're always going to be ahead of the curve. So you won't have to worry about it. So the third thing I want you to do is, you guys, I don't know how you think about the environments that you're in, but the environment that you're in is very important to you passing this exam. You can't be around people that have limiting mindsets, people that say, well, are you sure you're going to be able to pass it? Are you sure that you've studied enough? Are you sure that you've done enough? Are you sure you're going to be able to pass that exam? When you're around people like that, it causes you to start to have doubt on if you can actually pass the exam yourself. Okay. So something that I had to do, I actually got into the pharmacy before I passed the pharmacy. So I started working before, but being in that environment around people who had already passed the exam helped me so much. And it encouraged me to know that I could do it that second time around, because of course, the first time I had failed. Now, think about it. If I had already failed and I was around people that were placing doubt and having all these doubtful thoughts and mindsets, placing that in my mind, do you think that I would have been able to pass the exam? And I just want you to think about that. So think about your environment. Are you in a place where you're around students? It doesn't matter where the students are. Are you around people who are studious, people who are studying, people who have goals to pass the PTCB exam just like you, or even pharmacists, people who have already passed the exam? Being in these environments are going to help you to reach that goal that you're trying to reach of passing the exam. Being around people who just want to eat all the time, who just want to play around, they don't really have any goals, they're not really serious about the classes that they are in, they're not really serious about their life, they don't have anything that they're working towards. Being in those environments are going to actually keep you from reaching your goal. So make sure that you get into positive environments where people actually cultivate you and push you towards your goal and not away from your goal, towards things that are unproductive, honestly. Procrastination, just sitting on the couch, watching television, eating food all day, just wanting to sit around, talk and laugh all the time. It's not productive, you guys. So make sure that through your journey of passing or going to pass the PTCB exam, follow those 3 steps. 1, just do the work. 2, make sure you have the right information, make sure it's up to date. And 3, which is very key, your environment. I cannot tell you enough. I'll probably share with you guys in the next session or even in the private group on my experience this past weekend and being in an environment of like-minded individuals as far as career goes, and how it just makes such a greater impact on you and your growth. So I want to encourage you in your journey to going into healthcare and going to the pharmacy field. Make sure that you are getting in the right environment. Environment is key. Okay. And so I'm going to take some questions. Let me see here. We have Stacy Gooden. Stacy said, I'm about to take it this Saturday. I feel so lost. So Stacy, you're about to take the exam. Let's see. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 days you're about to take the exam. And you say you feel lost? You feel lost. I want you to think about that. Why would you feel lost if you're about to take the exam in 5 days? This is a national exam, okay? And I'm sharing it with you this way because you're here now and I have to push you, okay? I have to make you think about what you're actually doing. So I want you to put in the comments, why do you feel lost and you're about to take the exam in 5 days? Okay, so answer that question for me. So we have Umar. Can I take the exam from Pakistan? Umar, as far as I know, the PTCB exam is a national exam for the United States only at this point. I'm sure Pakistan may have a national or an exam for um, pharmacy technicians there. So that will be something that you can look into over there. But as far as I know, uh, the US exam is the PTCB exam and the EXCPT exam. Let me see, I'm reading these other comments. Is, okay, Umar, is any compulsory to join school? Umar, can you restate that question for me, please? Thank you for watching from Pakistan as well. That's awesome to know. Awesome to have you. Okay. Yeah, Umar, restate your question. I see you have some other questions here. Just restate your question and I will answer it for you. Okay, Stacy, I'm waiting on your reply. Okay, Kieta Calhoun. I failed my PTCB exam last year and I gave up and lost motivation. How can I get back? So again, Kieta, that goes back to what I was sharing. It's going to be you getting in the right environment. Honestly, that third thing that I gave, environment, plays such a huge, huge role. You don't want to be in the environment of people who have limiting mindsets on goals that you're trying to work towards. Okay. So, like, for instance, your family. I'm not saying don't be around your family. But if your family is negative towards your goal of trying to pass this PTCB exam, then when it comes to the PTCB exam, get in a different environment. Get in a different environment. Just understand, I can't talk to them about the PTCB exam because they're going to discourage me. And this is a goal that I'm trying to reach, and I can't afford to be discouraged right now because I already failed. That's the same predicament that I was in. I had already failed the exam. I didn't need to be in an environment where people were going to discourage me towards this goal because this was a goal that I knew I wanted to hit. So environment is so key. Again, the second thing, Kenyatta, just do the work. Okay. So I'm not sure what your weak points were, but since you've already taken the exam, go back and look at what your weak points were and now put the work in. Go and focus in on those topics only. For me, it was a law. It was also the top 200 drugs. So I had to go back and really hone in on those two categories because I already knew some of the other categories. So I honed in on the categories that I had issues with. And when you do that, I guarantee you're going to have better results the next time around. Let's see. And Kiara, we just had a student pass the exam. We had one pass today, but we just had one, I think that was like last week, that said they took this one tip that I just gave you and it caused them to pass the exam the next time around. They were so grateful about it. So these principles and things that I'm giving you, they really do work. They've worked for thousands of students. So just use these tips and I guarantee you're going to have success. Let's see. When I enrolled, let's see, this is Stacy. Okay, when I enrolled in this class, they said they would have training class. So I text them. They said they will get it in class. My husband is pushing me to go ahead and take the test. I see. So this is the thing, Stacy. If you feel like you aren't ready for the exam, that's a tough one. I would just try explaining to your husband that you aren't ready for the exam and you wasting $129. You could go and pass it. I'm not saying you wouldn't pass it because you may, but I guess I'm saying what are your odds, and do you really want to, or can you afford to take that risk with your money? So let me see, Stacy. Let's see, you're taking it Saturday. Shoot an email to pharmacytechlessons@gmail.com, Stacy, and let's talk. Let's talk because you're 5 days within taking your exam, and I really want to help you. I want you to be prepared. So just send me an email at pharmacytechlessons@gmail.com. Someone from the team will get with you, but it'll probably end up being us on the call. Let's see. Umar. Yes, I am interested to take the PTCB exam. I am first, maybe I am first in Pakistan. I have 7 years of experience. Okay, at JCI accredited hospital. That's nice. I want to get international accreditation like the PTCB. Okay, so yeah, Umar, basically you would just need to, if you're not already in the States, come to the States and take the exam. It's as simple as that. And you need to know the standards, the core standards for the exam over here and what they would like you to know. Because along with the experience, you need to make sure you're trained for the exam because to get the certification, yes, it's good. The experience is great. It's an A+ for the experience, but to get the actual certification, you need to pass the exam. And to pass the exam, you need to know all the right information. Okay. Let's see. Stacy, but I have already paid the money to take the exam. Okay, Stacy, just shoot an email to pharmacytechlessons@gmail.com. Shoot an email, tell them I told you to shoot an email there and put your availability for this week in that email. Okay. Let's see. Kiyata. Okay. I will definitely put in the work. Thanks for being so inspiring. Kiyata, you are so very welcome. And I wish you all the best on your exam, as well as everybody here. Stacy, Umar, with coming to the States or taking the exam in the States. Oh, yeah, Stacy, you're very welcome. Yeah, I wish you guys all the best. That's what we're here to do. We want to help students. Another thing I want to share with you before we get off, we do have a free webinar that we're going to be offering coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if you want in on that webinar, there are going to be limited spots because we're going to be giving out a ton of valuable information. So if you would like a spot at this limited seated webinar, then shoot an email to pharmacytechlessons@gmail.com. And in the subject line, just place webinar. So we'll know what you're sending the email for. And you will lock in your spot. We'll go ahead and lock you in for the webinar because it is going to be limited seating because the information that we're going to be giving at this webinar, very valuable. And it's information that we don't typically give out here at the channel just because we want people who are serious about taking this exam and people who are serious about accomplishing their goals. Okay, so if you want in on that webinar, send an email. I'm going to place the email here. Let me see, because Umar needs the email. So I'll just drop it here in the chat for you. All right, there's the email for you guys. And let's see here, who else we have? Gabriella, let's see, I feel like I really needed to hear this so much. Thank you for this. Gabriella, you are so very welcome. Umar, can I have the email address? Yes, Umar, I put the email address there in the chat. Can you suggest some public online accredited schools for preparation? Absolutely. So, I mean, I don't really just like to pitch us, but we are a school that can help you pass your PTCB exam. Now, as far as accreditation, we don't have the accreditation yet through I think they have several of those accreditations that you can get, but we don't have the accreditations yet. We pretty much just prep students to pass the exam, get them in the right environment with the private group, answer any questions that they have about the exam currently, and help students pass it. So typically to pass the national exam, you don't have to go through a program at all, first of all. And you definitely don't have to go through an accredited program. So that's why we haven't really just focused as much on it. But I'm going to let you guys know some changes that are going to be happening from the national exam perspective and also from the Pharmacy Tech Lessons perspective for 2020. So that's for next year. So I'll be letting you guys know that. And I may actually mention that on the webinar as well. We may have those things mentioned on the webinar. But make sure if you haven't passed the exam already and you want to pass the exam, just sign up for the webinar and lock your spot in because they're going to fill up fast. All right, so let me see here. If we don't have any more questions, if all hearts and minds are clear, this has been Onisha Biggs with another episode at pharmacytechlessons.com. And we're going to end it out there. Let me see. Still got some things coming in. All right, so just shoot an email there. I'm going to go ahead and close it out because we've been 20 minutes in. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day and take care. All the best on your studies.